So, it is 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. Thursday, the 15th of January, AD 2026. And we're going to have a fun, loosey-goosey, The Hake report. There's riots going on in Minneapolis. Not that I'm going to cover it really at all, but that's what's happening currently in the world, at least last night. An officer, I don't know what type of officer, maybe federal ICE or something, I don't know, shot a guy in the leg. The guy had attacked him with a shovel or something like that. From what I understood reading Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, and the far-left extremist outlet AP, right, anti-American outlets. Anti-American, but somehow supposedly American outlets. You do the math. We should be imposing American values of freedom of speech and rule of law, law and order, and justice and truth. But no, they push out selective facts. And as we all know from yesterday's T-shirt, from the Hake report, Hake more, facts are not truth, because they leave out alternative facts. And as Lin Yan Chin says, the truth is one. So, nice. All right, so same thing with the Hake report. Take everything that you hear, read, and see and interpret here on this show, present it as truth. Take it with a grain of salt. Know for yourself, because info may be false. The views expressed here, right? I don't even represent myself, all right? And certainly don't, we here on the Hake Report certainly do not represent Bond or JLP either. So relax. I will get to your calls is the plan, all right? Some of you already on hold. Your super chats as well. I ought to be live on, looks like Punchy TV is live, as is pilled.net. Hello to Cloud Bobs. I'm going to be live on Caledonian Elixir show. Little announcement for you guys. I will be a guest on Caledonian Elixir's podcast today at 5 p.m. Pacific is the plan. That is 7 Central, 8 Eastern, like 1 a.m. GMT. Greenwich. Is it Greenwich or Greenwich? Mean time. Or Universal Time, UTC, whatever that is. I don't know. So Caledonian, and that's Scottish, all right? He's live out of Scotland. Victor, I believe, is his name. Caledonian Elixir. I'm going to return to his show. I was on his show back in July, the end of White History Month, the 28th specifically. So if you would like to go over to thehakereport.com, I have the info there. That's not it. I don't believe that that's Scotland, but it's pretty. And I heard that Scotland is pretty. I heard Scotland is prettier than Ireland, although Ireland is pretty cool. I heard, but Scotland is prettier. I heard. But again, take everything that you hear here with a grain of salt. All right? But here's that announcement. Hake returns to Caledonian Elixir. And you can check him out on YouTube and Rumble, and he's on audio podcast as well. Nice. Very nice. Oh, Lord, they have to verify I'm human. Please. Vincent Lawler, doxed. I will be checking for your super chats. Oh, here, let me set a goal. Shall I set a goal? What's my goal? 1. All the colors. 2 hours, even though I'm not going to be live for 2 whole more hours. I have mere minutes left. 1 hour and 50 minutes. Nice. Thanks. All caps. Starting my goal. Hello, y'all. Oh, Lord. What did I do? Just call me a boomer. And speaking of that, Cloud Bops asked, and that's partly why I said, hey, what time is your guest appearance? Later, 5 p.m. Pacific. Figure it out wherever you are. Nice. And there's mess going on in the world, and I want to get to some of it. I haven't been able to get to a lot of it lately because I'm dealing with the mess going on among the calls. So I appreciate that, though. It's fun to talk with you guys. Did you catch Punchy TV yesterday? I know I did. Check it out, Punchy TV. Anyway, y'all, I think we're pretty well set to get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how y'all doing? I'm fine. I got my King of the Cage t-shirt on. King of the Cage, because I am the King of the Cage. Which cage? My zebra finch cave. I'm king over Peep and Sheep. Peep and Sheep. I was their king. They're dead now. Rest in peace. Peep and Sheep. Actually, I left home, and then they died later. I didn't even take care of them anymore. I don't know what that is, but King of the Cage. Nice. It's not for sale. At least not on the Hake Report site. Minor correction from Lin Yen Chin over here. Truth is 1, also known as none, 0. Or it is not absolute. Absolute is the cause of relative. Means 0 is epicenter and simultaneous outer limit of possibility. 1, also known as none / 0, where it is not absolute. That's right. That's why that gal was right when she said alternative facts. I typed it, but touchscreen made it mess. Well, thank you for your follow-up. I figured it out. I'm not always that dumb and slow, Lin Yen Chin, but thank you for the extra couple of bucks. Canadian bucks, Lin Yen Chin. Very, very kind. 0 is epicenter. Absolute is the cause of relative. Yeah, meaning 0 is the epicenter and simultaneous outer limit of possibility. Nice. Let's see if I hit like. No, it's not responding. Nice. Hey, it's not it's not blinking. Remember when it was blinking 6 and 7? Between 6 and 7? Thank you, sir. Oh, okay. Nice. Let me get to Hayden, caller out of Texas, who's on the line over here. Hayden, thank you for calling, sir, and how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Hake?
Going well. Thank you.
Nice. I was gonna ask you yesterday about if William from California had called in anymore. I enjoyed hearing his call yesterday.
Yeah.
They're always good.
Right on.
But where's Maze been, by the way?
I don't know.
She hasn't
I don't
called
know.
in a while.
Yeah, I don't know when the last time was that I heard from beautiful Maze.
I know.
Yeah.
She always has such knowledgeable stuff to say. I miss it.
Right. Shout out.
No, yeah, I'm messing around. Yeah, I didn't know if you had covered the shooting last night in Minnesota or not.
Only briefly in Hake News. I don't even really know what really went down.
Yeah.
How about you?
So what I was watching it as Fox was covering, and the person on the ground in Minnesota was saying that the ICE officer it was an illegal immigrant he was trying to arrest, and his buddies came from a nearby apartment building, and they decided to I guess chime in on the scuffle between the ICE officer and the illegal. The illegal was resisting, and his buddies from the apartment came and tried to fight the ICE officer. One of them had a shovel and was either beating or hitting the ICE officer with the shovel, and the ICE officer shot one of the guys in the leg. It was a mess.
Yeah.
The whole thing was just a mess.
It sounds like it. I was looking at the front page of CNN this morning. Believe it or not, right? I shouldn't probably even be opening Commie Nonsense Network, but
you've always done that.
Yeah, if you look, you can see like they still running this GIF or looping video footage from the riot. They had a whole riot over this thing. It was it sounds like it was a justified shoot, and they just want an excuse to riot. It's kind of like Mexicans want an excuse to have a party and drink. Shout out.
Right, exactly.
You know, communists
That's a good
want
analogy.
Trump warned he might invoke the Insurrection Act as protests riots erupted after a federal agent shot a man after officials say he assaulted the agent. And so, nice. Trump threatens to deploy the troops to Minnesota as tensions flare over ICE. Look at how obnoxious Commie Nonsense website is. Hake's website never does that. Here's Drudge, far left Drudge. Another ICE shooting, fear and anger spread plainclothes secret agents can ask anyone for their papers. The Dawn threatens the Insurrection Act. Nice. Right on.
Yep. I just saw that. That's really good of Trump to do.
Yeah.
I'm
so glad he's president, you know?
Oh, we would have been over. We would have been completely done if Harrison Walls would have won.
Totally.
Disaster. We literally would have been Venezuela or some other third world country.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
It would have been terrible. Now, did you see? I saw Tim Walz making a statement as the chaos was happening last night in Minnesota. I don't remember word for word what he said, but he was essentially saying that he was urging people to resist and protest ICE. Did you see that part as well?
I didn't. But I'm not surprised to hear that. It sounds familiar. It sounds like stuff that he's been saying.
Exactly.
Yep. Evil person. Tim Walz, what a
like
joke.
You would say. Yeah, I know.
What's wrong with the people of Minneapolis that they elected this guy?
I really don't know. I really don't. Him and Jacob Frey, they're just two whack jobs. They really are.
Yeah. You know what? And I heard that like 70 or so police officers in Minneapolis have taken paid leave. They're not working right now because they have these conflicted emotions over the irresponsible messaging of Tim Walz, what you just said about resisting ICE or whatever you said that he said, and the irresponsible messages from their mayor, Jacob Fry, I believe is that how it's pronounced actually.
Right.
He was probably baked, not fried. But anyway, he was saying, get the bleep out of Minneapolis, echoing the communists, which he is one, you know, not a Christian, by the way. And these are evil people. And so police paid leave Minneapolis, I think. Good job, losers. Yeah. Minneapolis police officer. No, this is not the news. Let's see. news. I don't know. What I heard was that 70 officers are on they're not showing up to work, but they're getting paid, leave because they don't want to be.
Right.
Then it's a big mess. There's all this conflict between the authorities because these authorities, the local authorities, the state and city so-called authorities, are acting like evil mamas, and so they're not.
Right.
They are putting police lives in danger by encouraging protests and riots and hatred.
Right.
They're inciting violence.
You're exactly right.
If you will. You know how they accuse Trump of inciting violence? That's them.
Yeah, they're hypocrites.
Yeah.
It's always them.
Yep.
And I think I did hear what you just mentioned about the people on leave or whatever, because Walz was threatening to deploy the National Guard to combat ICE.
Yeah.
So I mean, it literally would have been a war zone in Minneapolis. So,
yeah, totally.
And we don't know. He may still do it. He may still deploy a National Guard. So that's just who he is. This is a literal proof that history repeats itself. This is exactly what happened in 2020 with George Floyd. Exactly.
Yeah.
A Fox host brought that up last night, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I mean, he's right about that.
Say that again.
Did I cut out?
No. I was tuned out. I was distracted looking up information.
Oh, okay. no. I was saying that a Fox contributor last night was brought that up, that the history repeats itself. That this is exactly what happened in 2020 with George Floyd and everything, and he was right. I was shocked to hear him say that.
Yeah. Totally, man.
But yeah, it's a mess. Oh, one other thing. I knew there's one thing I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
Ronnie said that I shouldn't be proud of being white. There's nothing to be proud of about being white. My ancestors.
Is that what he said?
Yesterday he said that.
I don't remember exactly. I don't remember that specific phrasing, but go ahead. Continue. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, anyone can play that back. I mean, he said there's nothing to be proud of for my being white, my heritage, or what my ancestors did, or whatever. If that were the case, that was just all envy. That was all envy because he knows that his people have done nothing to contribute positively to society, and he's upset about it. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, interesting.
So, but when I heard that, I just heard envy in his voice.
You think so, huh?
Oh yeah.
He's an interesting character, man.
Ronnie the Snake.
Well, I appreciate it, Hayden. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, have a good day, Hake.
You as well. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye. Wow, what a mess. I have more supers to get to. Let me get to Jermaine in Canada on the line here. Jermaine, thanks for calling and holding, sir. What's up?
Hey, 007.
What's up, man?
Sharpshooter who never misses. Not much, man. I'm just enjoying the snow today. It's a lot of snow.
Wow.
But
yeah, there's it's 80 down here. Gonna be 80 anyway. 81 degrees Fahrenheit.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah.
But James, since you're in California, man, I have a proposal for you, right? I'm thinking about, starting up a transportation company in LA,
Are you the one who asked me for 5K?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, we should become partners, like you're in LA, so I think we can get away with this, right? We're going to set up, a couple of business with the address and name and file, but when you go and visit the business, it's not going to via the company that's on file. You know, we're gonna have a money transfer company there to wire the money, and have all these vehicles just spark up and not doing anything because we need to show that at least a little bit of cover up, right?
You mean
I'm
like
talking
how
about
like how the Somalis allegedly were doing with the daycares and
yeah,
other stuff?
yes.
Is
You
there
didn't see the video. You didn't see the video yet with the new fraud regarding the Somalians, right? With the transportation company in Minnesota.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. They do trips like for people that need to get around, like healthcare, like daycare, stuff like that. So they registered the business with the government, but the business that is on the file name, when you go to the location, it's not the business that is on the file name. And these are
Wow.
transportation company. They have like 20 vehicles and a trip a day, allegedly in the report, right? What I was watching, $50 for a trip, and they have 20 vehicles. They make like 20 trips a day, which is crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money going missing, and no one knows where the money is going. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Typical.
And it's linked to the daycare twos. It's crazy, man. And then they're videoing it. They're doing a documentary, and they pull up on these people and ask them questions, and they're just yelling at them and getting angry and trying to shame them and saying, "Oh, you're doing this because we're Muslim, we're Somalians. You just don't want us in your country." And I'm like, what is this guy even talking about? He's not even asking you those questions.
Right.
He's asking you they're looking for the company that should be at this address, and you can't tell them where the company is or where the money is going. It's crazy.
That's the MO of, it seems like blacks more than anybody do, like, not very slick scams or dishonest things or things that are against the law, and then they cry racism when they get caught.
Typical.
It's so typical. That's crazy, man.
It's a mess, man. There was something else, but I forgot at this point.
Yeah.
But that's what my little thing there. It's wild, man. It's wild. But shout out to, I guess, the guy for showing us what's happening with the money there.
So is that Nick Shirley doing more stuff, or other people found this one, or what?
No, yeah. Nick Shirley.
Wow.
With the same guy that uncovered the fraud earlier.
Right on, man.
Yeah. I think Trump said he's sending down all, like, they call it programs for these things, even in California, starting February 1st, and they're gonna deep dive in it. So your state might be next. We're about to see it.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah,
I would love that. Somebody's got to hold the criminals, at least some of the criminals responsible in California, because the criminals and the people on the side of criminals are running the show here in LA and California at large. Democrats are on the side of criminals. That's why they support illegals. That's why they support blacks, so-called. Yeah, go ahead.
But the funniest thing, people are gonna go protest protest for these people and say, "Oh, they're neighbors, we love them."
Right.
So you're protesting for people to keep robbing you of your tax money? That's kind of crazy.
Well, some of them benefit from it, and then they also they don't believe in right and wrong. They believe in family, so-called, and friends.
Amazing.
You don't turn your back on family or friends, even when they're criminals or illegals or whatever. And it's not turning your back on them. You're just enforcing the law. Like, let's keep things honest for once.
Do you think that came from? It slipped me now. It came from, how you don't snitch. Like, it come from black culture.
Yeah.
It kind of the same thing.
No snitches.
I was kind of grew up like that, to like always be there for family. Even when family is they're just going to use you and take advantage of you. It's kind of funny.
If I'm not mistaken, no-snitch culture came when they had single mothers and hated fathers / authority. Let's see if that's true. I'm asking Google AI. It's complex. So in other words, yes. They say it's, I mean, they're probably going to go back to slavery, and the cops were slave catchers. But most slaves didn't run away. What's that?
I was just about to bring that up yesterday from Jasmine Crockett. That's funny.
Yep.
So it sounds like, people, they start doing bad things, so they have to create a system to keep it under control. That's crazy.
Yeah.
If people were good, I mean, they wouldn't need to have created police to catch the slave, I guess.
What's funny is, like, as society and as the people in the government become less white and less male, the authority that they're mistrusting is becoming even more untrustworthy. So they should have been trusting authority back when it was white, because whites are more fair-minded, and they're going to treat you better and more justly, with less lenience, perhaps, but also just plain more fairly. So what a shame.
It's a mess, man.
Totally.
But good chatting with you, James.
Yeah, you as well, man.
For sure. All right, have a good day.
All right, bye. Let me talk with William III in California. William III, thank you for calling, sir.
Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Hey, yesterday I misspoke about the traffic jam and the blackout in San Francisco. It wasn't so much the Teslas, it was the autonomous cars. They stopped in their tracks as soon as the electric grid went down, and that's how the breaches got clogged up.
Waymo, the Waymos. Yeah, I remember reading about that or seeing that.
Yeah. And see, we didn't have power for no lights, no street lights, no street lamps, no power to call the police, nothing.
Yeah, and then when they didn't have the stoplights and stuff, they got confused, so they just stopped.
In a congested, in a congested place like San Francisco, if you look at it, it's like Manhattan. It's really condensed.
Yeah.
And
narrow streets.
Yeah.
Steep hills, by the way.
Yep. Pretty, very pretty.
Yeah.
But it was, when people bring up the Civil War and everything, it's kind of funny. And thank you, Hayden, for the compliment. When people speak about the Civil War and everything, it's all Americans, and it is one of the most historical conflicts we've ever had, and the bloodiest. But I think, in my opinion, the South would win this time, because when that blackout hit, all of my tenants went crazy. They didn't know what to do. Yeah, I had to get there. I had to get out there from the farm. I had to drive 50 miles down. I told my girlfriend, I said, you got to go. You got to go back to the valley. There's a blackout in the city. And that artery, all of our roads and freeways go to San Francisco. And for those Waymos to stop like that, it was a big problem. And that's why I don't think the South would lose this time, because these liberal white people that rent from me, they were lost, James. They didn't know what to do, but they didn't even realize that they have a gas heater.
That's funny.
I'm like, you got heat, and you can get these little power boxes to turn on a lamp, so you can at least take a shower and cook. And as far as the power being blacked out, they got retro paid on their electric bill, I think $250 and about $300 for people who work from home. So they were taken care of in that aspect, but they were seriously inconvenienced.
Yeah, I bet.
And that's what happened during Christmas in the Bay Area. So just wanted to let you know.
That's funny.
Hey, excuse me. The other thing I wanted to talk about was some more black excellence. University of DePaul has several basketball players indicted for gambling and point shaving in the NCAA.
So another scam with
Yeah.
federal indictment over this stuff?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's about 17 players, 2 different states, maybe 3 different states, NCAA. This is Division I. This is like NCAA tournament stuff. This is serious money.
Huh.
And
Let's see.
as for, yeah, you see it?
No, I'm just searching now. No, go ahead.
Okay. As for what Ken was talking about yesterday, it is absolutely true that they don't want you to have a Black Excellence Day because they're going to call in and call with a bunch of stupid stuff. And as for Ronnie, nobody is buying that, quoting the Constitution and all that. We don't buy it. I know what you're doing. And the thing is no grown person with responsibility, black or white, would even concentrate on the things that come out your mouth. And if you knew anything, there are not that many black people in America. I don't know what you're talking about, browning of America, making white people minorities. You got a whole long way to go before that happens. Most of the country is white. And Ronnie, if it does turn brown, you won't be alive when that happens. That's a stupid statement, and what a childish thing to pay attention to.
You know, he said, well, we have our Constitution intact. But when you look at polls and things and you look at how they vote, they don't, the immigrants and non-whites and non-men, females and LGBTs, they don't believe in the constitutional rights of the freedom of speech. They don't believe in freedom of speech. They believe in hate speech. They believe there's hate speech. They don't believe in the Second Amendment. They believe in gun safety laws. And common sense gun safety laws.
And giving the black people a hand. That's what he's concentrating on. And none of that stuff is American. Nick had a caller cursing and dropping the F-bomb the other day about, well, how come you white people don't help us? And all of that stuff. You know, nobody with any kind of real responsibility would even think about that kind of stuff. No, not with any kind of adult responsibility on a daily basis. You don't come up with this stuff coming out your mouth.
Yeah.
So I don't fall for it. You do. You want to play with it. I don't play. Like he wanted to talk to me one time. I don't talk to you. I don't talk to you, John Kentucky, none of you idiots, because Ken knows the real deal. Real adults, forget black people. Real adults don't have this kind of stuff on their mind. Being a victim, slavery, what happened 200 years ago. Why did we take Venezuelan? You're stupid if you don't understand it. It's a 203-year-old doctrine called the Monroe Doctrine. You can't do nothing in our area, and that's it. And we took it, and there's nothing you can do about it. Oh, there were cybersonic, I think there were subsonic weapons used in the invasion.
Really?
And none of the Chinese and Russian weapons and radars worked. They were blind.
Nice.
We took a country in an hour. And Trump did it. And he's like, what you gonna do about it? And he threatened Colombia too. He says, neither one of you guys better mess with Guyana because they got the oil too, and we're taking control of everything, and there's nothing nobody can do about it. But I just want to touch bases the fact that if you really talk to people that got some common sense, they don't have that kind of stuff that's coming out of Ronnie's mouth.
Nice.
In fact, if it was David and Ocala, me, Ken, Rick, we would look at somebody like Ronnie like, why are you even tuned into a talk show every day anyway? Why don't you do something with yourself? People with responsibility don't have that on their mind.
Stephen made a good point yesterday saying that the most down-to-earth black Americans who do not harbor this hatred towards the whites,
they don't.
They tend to be from the South.
They are.
Yeah. He called them by he used a name to call them, like the C word, right?
Well, don't you think the South would win? The South would win if we had a civil war because we up here in California, in these liberal cities and liberal states, they don't believe in guns.
Well, some of the gays and transgenders believe in guns.
Why you bring something? What was that all about that you just did? What does that have to do with what I'm talking about, man? You think you're talking to the people, man. I'm not like that, man.
Right.
Damn.
All right.
Is that something to do? Is that maybe that's why you like to draw? See, they talk about all these things that don't pay you.
Right.
Me sitting up there pointing out racism and how bad my ancestors were done, it doesn't pay me. Everything in life comes down to what you owe, who owes you, what you got coming in, and what you got going out. That's what means something in life. None of this stuff that they're talking about pays them. Ask Ronnie how much he got for Rosa Parks being staged on a bus in 1950. Ask him how much he's getting paid for that. He'll tell you zero.
Right. Interesting. It's just ego.
It's the fact, man. It's not interesting. It's a fact. You don't never talk to no black people with common sense, and that's the first thing come out their mouth. Do you, Jay? You ought to know that by hanging with Jesse.
Thank you, William. I appreciate it, man. It's good to hear from you.
Man. All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Bye. Let me get to Kentucky John. John in Kentucky. Oh, Kentucky John. He had a comment about the no-snitch culture. He was about to inform us, enlighten us on the no-snitch culture. No, Kentucky John. Forbidden. Not that he's forbidden, but that's the when you type in forbidden and you go that's the emoji. No, Kentucky John. A super chat from Lin Yan Chen. Hayden is right. HADEN, I believe, is how it's spelled. History repeats in 4-stage cycles, be it across a year or a century, where 4 points of large change are called turnings. Google it. Huh. I feel like I saw something to this effect, but not necessarily about history, but 4 stages or point changes just recently. Was that on my show that I read something like that, or was it on a super chat, or what? You know me, I don't read much. Everblazer, history repeats itself since humans are and have been in the fallen state since the beginning of time. And then, thank you, Everblazer. And thank you, Lin Yan Chen. Lin Yan Chen also says, real black have enough shame. The Somali, and has none of our fast twitch muscle mutation. Not even our West African lineage has it, which means not black. Really? So West Africans don't have fast twitch muscles? West Africans, no fast twitch. What are West Africans? Well, I didn't say no. I mean, I didn't mean no fast twitch. Duh, everybody has a little bit of fast twitch, but it's a in fact, research suggests people of West African descent often have higher proportion of fast twitch muscle fibers, giving them an advantage of explosive power and sprinting and jumping. But you're talking about black Americans, right? Contrasting with East Africans. Maybe he meant East Africans who excel in endurance. You know, those Kenyans that can just run forever. Is that what you mean? So the Kenyans are not really black? Is that what you're saying, Lin Yan Chen? Did you mean East or did you literally mean West? West African lineage. I wonder if I could see if he's meant East. Let's see if he's chatting. Anyway, right on. Right on, either way. Somalia is in East Africa, right. But he said, not even our West African lineage has it. So how did you get the fast twitch? Did you get fast twitch mutation by mixing with us? With the whites? Anyway. Whatever. Shout out. Let's see. We have specific mutation on top of what West Africans have, Hake, just look at the history of 100-meter Olympians, and you see only American, Canadian, and West Indian, also known as Caribbean or Caribbean. Yeah, I see like the Jamaicans. That's probably what you mean, what you're saying. Here, let me go to, not top chat. I don't even know why they have top chat. Here's the live chat, and here's what he says. Specific mutation on what the West Africans have. So the history of 100-meter Olympians. Okay, Lin Yin Chin, but that could be we have like a higher level of higher IQ for training, whereas the West Africans may have the talent but not the training IQ. Because the Kenyans, they always win because everywhere they go, they're just running for 7 miles to go to school, and then they run 7 miles home, and then they run 7 miles to go to the farm and pick the crops, and then they run 7 miles back home barefoot. I don't know. Maybe that's why we in the white countries like or white-dominated countries like America, Canada, and Jamaica, and other places, they have the fast twitch, but they just don't have the training IQ. Could it be training IQ and training stuff? Why is Hake engaging with Lin Yin Chin's word salads? They're not word salad. Well, salad's good for you. It's healthy. Lin Yin Chin has good, healthy words sometimes. Interesting. He also has a, over on Streamlabs, Lin Yin Chin states, we read them in reverse order, so from bottom to top. It is the vowels that suffer most in mouth breather enunciation. Especially at the start of any given word where said vowel is replaced by sucking through the mouth to make it an sound. Amazing. The kills enunciation. Enunciation. Enunciation in mouth breather, in MB. MB, mouth breathers, opt for words that fall within their narrow phonic range. This is part of why they layer suffix, i.e. phonic, becomes phonetic. Oh, you don't like phonetic? Though the spelled phonetic, they need redundant particles and monotone phrasing and still get lost in missing context. Quote unquote. Lin Yin Chin. Nice. Right on. And I did see there were some coffees that came in. I shall get to those, but let me get back to some calls here, y'all. Pretty soon. Art is coming up next. And Art and Alan are coming up next, all right? So, LYC Streamlabs on mouth breathers and history repeating. And whatever the point of the fast twitch stuff, the fast twitch debate. I could anyway, talking about cultivating fast twitch. And I will also check the Rumble crew and elsewhere. What is up, Jules Verne, Free Willy, Slave to Him, Buddy 1205, Old Saucy. Nice to see you guys. Hello to Kilo Alpha Tango, Chirp Alerter 5000, Kevin, Odin, Pompous Punk, Doom Jesus. Oh, I can show you how to unblock them. Let's see. Lin Yin. Do. Oh Lord. Here, I will show you how to unblock Doom Jesus. Click on this channel and go to settings or more or ... and go to unblock if you want. Nice. But let me get to Art in Ohio, who's on the line here. Art, thank you for calling, sir, and holding. What is up?
Hey.
Hey.
You know the rules. It's Big Art in his mother lover. Don't look at me crazy because I ain't with the mother suckers.
That sounds like a song.
Tupac, baby.
Wow. Hey.
So check this out. First thing first. So I seen a clip of two black people, going at it and stuff, and one of them always like these liberal blacks or whatnot. I like both of them or whatnot, but you kind of, if you listen to them, you hear the liberal come out of them. It breaks through them, and they always try to say, why don't y'all always seem like y'all caping for the white man? Y'all don't never say nothing about the white man this and the white man that. Yeah, we do. We do, but this the difference. Just like when they try to say the pro-blacks, we built America. Nah, what the thing is we had about and this is a hypothetical. This might not be the actual factual number. The Native American, Black Americans might have helped actually build about 15 to 20%. Now, if I'm right on the percentage of it. But what I'm saying is they like to make it seem like the pro-blacks like to make it seem like they built up 99.9% of America. They misconstruing the numbers. Yeah. Like instead of getting a piece of the pie, they trying to take the whole pie, and they don't like to function in reality. Just like the one caller said that blacks ain't. The one other caller before me said that blacks ain't never did nothing for America. Well, he might want to change. If he's so-called calling himself logical and alpha male, he might want to change that up because we all know that factually ain't correct. So that's my problem with the pro-blacks or whatnot, is they always try to make it seem like arty art, we don't talk about what the whites is doing or whatnot. We always trying to cape for the whites. Nah, we just see more of what the blacks is doing, and that 13% is outshining the good that the good blacks like myself or any other blacks is doing. Good stuff out here. It overshines that or whatnot. And the stuff that the white people out here doing, they doing it, but it ain't as much as, I mean, in my opinion, it don't seem like it might not be as much, but it might be as much as or whatnot. So that's my first thing. And something that Malcolm X or whatnot said, that he said that the liberals or whatnot say that when master say he's sick, then the slaves say, oh, we's are sick. And we's are sick. Boss man, master, we's are sick. Well, I mean, as much as it might hurt to agree and whatnot, Hake, I don't call you my master or whatnot, and I don't think it's too much that you can do for me, and I don't think that you hold me back or nothing or whatnot. But I would like to think that if white America is sick, then what the heck you think is gonna happen to blacks? If black Americans is sick, what the heck do you think is gonna happen to whites? It's like a peach cobbler. If a peach cobbler ain't a peach cobbler without the peach. You can have the crust all you want, but if you ain't got the peach, it ain't nothing but crust. Long story short. So that's another point. So with Malcolm X, if you look at it from a liberal point or whatnot, you would think that's it. What I'm saying is he was trying to make it seem like you was Uncle Tom for thinking like that. But what I'm saying is, no, you're not. That's a logical way to think. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. He was trying to make it seem like it was a bad way to think or whatnot. It wasn't logical, but no, that's a logical way to think. Second thing is, he just like he said, another thing that he said or whatnot, which I do agree on, that white liberals is the worst thing for black Americans and white Americans or whatnot. On that note or whatnot. So also what I want to bring to your attention, you notice what I noticed about these liberals, and even it pertains to me or whatnot. In my custody court, I don't know if you remember, and if you don't, I'll try to break it down as much as possible in little time that I got. My baby mom was trying to make it seem like, oh, she was scared of me, and oh, he's dangerous. His son is scared of him, and this and this and this and this and that. And then in the next breath, she has me come to pick my son up to take him to school. You see what I'm saying? How are you that scared of me? But then you calling me to take you and my son to school in the morning, and when I wasn't even staying with you. So I'm going out of my way to drive across town to pick you up, take him to school, drop him off, take you back to your place, drop you off, or whatnot, then go back to where I was staying at. That don't make no sense. So I'm noticing the tactics that they doing, which I already been noticing. I just like to put them on. I just like to put the Democrats and the liberal on a full display or whatnot, how hypocritical they are. Like people can't see through them or whatnot. Y'all out here calling Trump and these ICE agents Nazis and stormtroopers and fascists with that D.C. mayor or no D.C. police chief. Is that who? Is it the D.C. or was it Maryland? One of them was just down. It might have been Philadelphia. She was talking about they ain't federal agents or officers or whatnot. They sit here and call these people all these names and make them seem like they scared of them. But how are y'all scared of them when y'all out there beating in Minnesota, beating the ICE agents over the head with shovels? Last time I checked, if you scared of somebody, you don't run towards them. You run away from them. If you see a fire or whatnot, and you scared of a fire, you don't run into the burning building. You run away from. So I'm trying to figure out how are y'all so dang on scared, but y'all creating the danger, making it dangerous by what y'all are doing, and y'all running straight into it. And I just like to say that because it's very hypocritical, and they playing us like we don't understand and see what the heck is going on. I don't understand if it's maybe the people that they around, they ain't big thinkers or they might be dumb, but everybody ain't dumb, and we see what the heck is going on. But I'm listening to you real quick.
You make a good point about that. They're not scared of them. They don't. It's kind of like calling Trump a wannabe king. If you were really a wannabe king, he would be clamping down much harder on the people the way that they clamp down on him.
Exactly. And he needs to do that. He's gonna have to, because
I hope he does.
Well, remember the other day I said if you don't do it with that little incident with that lesbian or whatnot, it's gonna keep getting worse. Then right. I think later on that day, I seen some Mexican dude on YouTube. Next time I'm coming down here with a gun. I'm thinking like, wow, I just told Hake this earlier today. Now look, just like I said, it's gonna get worse and worse. And the more that you keep playing around, and it's gonna get innocent people hurt, and then you have people like me that's like, dang, Trump ain't listening to us. And it's gonna end up making me look at Trump like he's an illegitimate leader. He's not really a good leader. Yeah. So I'm really rolling with you, Trump, or whatnot. But you hesitating too much and hesitating on cracking the whip on them to where it's gonna get people hurt. And then you gonna have art like, dang, Trump, why didn't you jump on it ahead of time? Now you got yourself looking bad, and my family members in the house or whatnot, and at Christmas or whatnot, looking at me like, man, Trump is a representation of art, and art is a representation of Trump. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying you had to do that before, because you don't want to turn your own people that's with you against you, because not that you ain't doing what I say I want you to do when I want you to do it, but we all see and know what's going on. So if me and Hake know what's going on and we know what you need to do, then you need to do it. We shouldn't even have to tell you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
And then so I had to catch an Uber the other day, and it was a Somalian dude, and I when I get in the car or whatnot, little dirty feet. When I get in a dirty feet's car or whatnot, I see the little GPS saying it take me this way and take me that way, and I just was like, hey, man, you should probably hop on the freeway. That way they take you, it's gonna take longer. Oh no, in broken English, no, this way is faster. Dude, I can listen at your voice and tell you just got here in America. I've been living in Columbus since I've been about 4, 5, 6 years old, somewhere between there. No, all up and down Columbus. You just got here yesterday. You up here trying to tell me how long it take to get to point A and to point B in Columbus, Ohio, or whatnot. And I say that, you like, Art petty as heck. What's this got to do with it? No, I'm noticing these same characteristics or whatnot on the job site when you interact with them. For some odd reason, they think that all Native American black people are stupid or don't got common sense, and they be trying to talk to us and tell us stuff that they don't even know nothing about. like politics. You just got over. You don't even know the liberal. Basically, even the American females, even in America, don't even know American history. So if they don't know, what make you think that Artie Art believe that you know American history? And I'm just saying, you got a lot of people that they've been trying to interject into America or whatnot that ain't American, and they coming over here trying to big mouth and talk like they houses are in order when it ain't in order. And I don't like it. Yeah. I don't like taking info and advice from people from third world countries just now start driving cars 10 years ago. You see what I'm saying?
I do. I see that. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. But it was something else, but I just probably hold my my thoughts on that or whatnot. And definitely, man, I'll catch you later. Hey, appreciate you for having me on here.
Thank you, Art. Appreciate
catch you later.
Man.
Yes,
Bye.
sir. Bye.
Alan in Michigan. At long last, Alan, thank you for calling, sir. How you doing?
I don't mind waiting. I'm just fine, thanks.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel bad for Art. You know, he's been apparently gone through the gynocentric court system.
Yeah.
And has been...
These women acting like they're so scared of the men.
Well, of course.
Evil.
And, you know, Mama Spirit, Third Curse of Eve,
yeah.
You know, Momism, it all goes back. And it's like these women look at men, like you said, it was particularly striking to me. Yeah, he's so dangerous. Oh, but yet when I need my kid taken somewhere, then he has to be available for me. And this is extraction of resources.
Yeah.
You know, this is control. And sounds unrelated, but it's people of the MGTOW persuasion and all that have talked about what they call horse chicks, women who like horses. And a lot of women, I know some of them, they love horses, and they will bankrupt themselves and anybody around them to keep that horse, to feed it, to house it, for its medical care. And there's something about, and somebody pointed this out, it's control. And this is what women want. They want control. And, you know, of course, that goes into what JLP and you and other people have said. Okay, that was all I wanted to say on that. And I do appreciate what William III, I like hearing him, he's a very good contributor, about the autonomous cars going out. Because when he had said the cars were stopping, I thought, or the electric cars, I thought, the Teslas? No. Guy next to my sister has a Tesla. In fact, he took me for a ride in it. No, they're separate. You know, they're not connected to the web or anything. So then he said, oh, no, it was with the autonomous. So I'm glad he corrected himself. And that's what I think that is nice about your broadcast. When people, they say they're wrong, they're wrong.
The Waymos.
Yeah. Now, Hayden in Texas brought up something. Trying to hit these points real quick. The Minnesota protests and everything. Now, I'm going to reveal something, about myself, that my late girlfriend was a descendant of the Orlov family, who were related to the Romanovs. So she knew a lot about Russian history. And she's the one who really got me corrected on the idea that, when I was growing up, the Russians are bad, the Tsar was horrible and all that. And then I started getting interested in Russian history. It's not a big thing. But one of the things that happened when the communists took power, and this relates to the Minnesota and all this other nonsense going around. Well, what happened is when the communist government took over and were controlling, they would send out people to burn the fields of the kulaks. This was a name that Stalin gave, a derogatory name to the farmers, the independent farmers. And they would set wheat fields and stuff on fire, and the locals would catch them and turn them into the police. The police would turn them into the authorities. The authorities will let them go to burn other fields.
Wow.
So that's kind of what's happening. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, here. So, it's the communist playbook, and it's the same thing throughout history. They cause a problem, the dialectic, we cause a problem, and we already have a solution, and then that's, the thesis, the antithesis, and then the synthesis is the solution that they write up, just like Obamacare. You know, it's like 500 pages. They had some guy write it up probably years before they even, brought it in.
Right.
So, okay, that was it. The last thing I want to talk about, I'm not going to take a lot of time today, is an update on the Planned Parenthood abortion clinic in Aurora. I think a number of months ago I had explained this building. It looks like a fortress, and it had a big moat around two sides of it. Well, I went out a couple of years ago when I visited my sister in the land of Lenin, called Illinois, and I said, I'll go out there and see what it's like and see, where that big moat is. I went out there, moat's gone. In its place, they extended the building another 15 or 20 feet to the street. Business is good. The industry is prospering. And then I found out just today, it's in Politico. I had to double check it because somebody said, oh, no, I can't believe this, that the funding for Planned Parenthood has been restored as of last December.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So, in any case, yeah, it's and just wait. I'm not a betting man, but I'm saying this money that's been squandered by these Somalis and other people that are in this racket.
Yeah.
We'll just cut off the money. It's not going to get cut off. I'll bet they're gonna fund something else. Another, we need to help the children. Well, I've got a standard answer for that. And this is my standard answer. When any politician, corporate shill, or woman, or other libtard comes to me and says, I'm here to help you, my right hand automatically goes and protects my wallet on my back end.
Yeah.
When they say it's for the children, I take my left hand and put it over to protect my privates. When they say it's for yours and national security, I take my derriere and bump it right up against a brick wall because I know what they're going to try next.
Wow.
So anyway, I know that's a little rude, but I'm leaving it there, and that's my story. I'm sticking with it.
Interesting.
Thanks for taking my call.
I appreciate it, Alan in Michigan.
Okay.
Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye. We are past the top of the hour. I have a few super chats to read, and then I want to take a quick break to handle a couple of issues. But at this point, just call me Mike. Bought our 3 coffees. Hake, we need to talk. Like I'm really based when it comes to woman. I know a lot of them ain't wife material. Wife material. Specifically, especially in my generation. But man, that is to say man, when y'all talk about humiliation rituals, as we did on Punchy TV yesterday, check it out, and a woman calling you cute, condescending. Like, is y'all afraid of women? Or some women are very easy, to be honest, they're like children. All you need is confidence. It's easy. Crack a few jokes here and there and be respectful. And women kind of like it when you put your feet down and stay true to yourself. You're a good-looking guy, Hake. Pause. Pause is young people / black for no homo. Which that black guy should have said instead of saying no homo, because then he got in trouble. Wasn't that one of the ball kids? Ball boys? Maybe not. You could catch all these bad gals with daddy issues and collect them like Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. Super satanic. But main, stop with the trauma thing. I would have to tell that boop to sit down. Speaking emoji. And Kurt, why Kurt saying boop like that about his daughter if he had one? About wearing, if your daughter wanted her dad to dance with her and wearing a tutu? Is that what you're talking about? Or what do you mean? In what world does he live in? Shrugging emoji. Or Kurt said he's not going to have any daughters, only sons. And stop thinking about Ronnie. This is weird, my ninja. He says. There you go. Appreciate the advice there. Sounds like good advice all around. Stop thinking about Ronnie. Have a little confidence with these gals. Stay true to yourself. Nice. At this point, just call me Mike. Right on, man. Much obliged. And Greggatron, y'all are wild. Your show was really good yesterday. Hayden, no Y in Hayden, Haden, I believe. Hayden set the tone and everything else fell into place accordingly. Great calls. Good to hear from Rick, Ken, and William. Steven is wrong about something. Not all C words are from the South. I'm a C word. Not the C word, not that C word, but the one that's fine to say. The one that sounds not as bad or whatever. Anyway, I don't know. I didn't even know of these words until like after college. But anyway, and I'm a Yankee. Hey. Next time someone like Ronnie asks you what's wrong with whites becoming the minority, just respond with a simple question: who built the skyscrapers? Who are most of the mechanics, electricians, linemen, HVAC, which is to say heating, vacuuming, and air conditioning or something like that? Carpenters, painters, ventilation, not vacuuming. Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Carpenters, painters, engineers, etc., etc., etc. They act like historically the white man isn't capable of building great things. We talked about this months ago, Hake. You need to school these people. I don't know why they act like white people aren't needed that much. Who's going to run the transportation? Streetlights. Also, Eric is right about rap music. Cesar, you're welcome for the mega church link. You're welcome, Cesar. Normally, I'd be more pithy, but since Popcorn and others want to write a book, I'm going to write a book. See ya. Oh, lastly, Chad O. Jackson. He has that MLK project. Season 1 available. Check it out. He ordered it. DVD. Sorry, this wasn't pithy. You don't look sorry to me, Greggatron, but thank you, sir. Very nice. Very cool. And speaking of Cesar or Caesar, sup, Hake? I recently paid for a year's subscription to Gab AI. It's the most based AI available that tells it how it is. It straight up tells you how the cow ate the cabbage. My favorite saying. With that said, I'll leave you with this quote from Gab regarding an example of a type of evil. Real evil is betraying your bloodline through open borders or forced integration, which erodes nations. Now, how based is that? Till next time, my friend. Celebration tan hands emoji, Dominican. Cool sunglasses sticker or emoji. P.S. Postscript, forgot to tell you. That call with Eric yesterday was powerful. I would consider him a favorite caller, but he barely calls, laughing face with tears coming out. Thank you, Cesar or Caesar. Very nice. And I do have more to... Oh, Lord, what did I just do? I do have more to get to. You see Popcorn, and Popcorn gave a couple, it looks like. And Eric gave a couple as well. I shall get to those soon, but I want to take a break here. We're at 10 past the hour. Make sure you catch American Anchor Baby today. And I'm going to come right back. I just have to take care of some things in the middle of my show. I know. And I do see your calls. Hang tight, callers. All right? In fact, before I take my break, let me because I tried to get to John earlier. John in Kentucky is on the line here. John, Kentucky John. How you doing, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't have long either, but I just wanted to correct you on something. You was talking about no-snitch culture.
Right.
And where it started, it did not start with blacks. It started with whites. The Sicilians, they came over here with the mob, and they had this whole mob culture. They called you a rat if you snitched, and they would kill you. They would kill your family. And that's where, all that murdering and drive-by started as well. Blacks being influenced by the movie Scarface and just going plumb wild, trying to live that Italian culture. And they ran away with that no-snitch culture. But that started with y'all. That didn't start with blacks. Blacks didn't used to do that.
Italians aren't normal whites. I have
There's
said
no
it for
such
a long
thing.
time. Yes, there is.
No such thing. No, they're
Yeah.
Caucasians.
Why would you call them
Sicilians-
Italians then? You'd have to specify that they're Italians.
Because you try to put yourself in the category. You call Africans black, don't you?
Yes.
You don't call them regular blacks. You don't do that.
Nuh-uh. Yes, I
Your
do.
group was,
No, I
No, you
call black Americans regular blacks, normal
Well,
blacks.
point being, it didn't start with blacks. You guys are wrong about that. It
So
started with
so
whites.
you copied the Italians because you thought they were cool.
Hey, I'm just calling you to correct you. That's
Yeah.
all.
Interesting.
It started
But
with Sicilians.
and those Sicilians weren't doing that until right around the same time that the mothers were out of control and the rejection of the
Oh,
fathers.
now you
and
want to
authority.
blame it on the women.
That's what
You
I was
don't never
talking
wanna-
about. That's what I
You
was.
don't never want to blame it on you. Who is for it? It's white men. Sicilian men started it, not women.
And so what's
Not
wrong with
women.
the blacks that they adopted it?
Oh, because man, blacks, they don't
You
have
want
an
to blame the
identity.
whites?
Blacks don't have an identity. They just kind of go with the wind on what's hot at the time.
And so you
They
want
like
to
to go
blame? So I'm not blaming the women. I'm blaming.
I'm just telling you where it started. I ain't going no further than where it started.
That's not where it started.
It didn't start with blacks.
It's dominant among blacks, and why?
It didn't start with blacks.
It's dominant among blacks, and why?
It didn't start with blacks.
Yes, it did.
No, it did not.
Yes, it did. It started
It did
with
not.
when did it start with the blacks, and why?
It did not. It started in the 80s with blacks. It started earlier with those white men who came over here, immigrants, white immigrants, Caucasian immigrants, Sicilian immigrants. It was a no rat culture. That's what it was. And they would murder you. They would cut your head off, Hake, if you
Calm
snitch.
down.
No, I'm just letting you know where it started.
I know, but why did the blacks? What was wrong with the black culture that they
That's
adopted?
not the point. That's not the point for me calling. I just wanted to tell you where it started from.
Because you can't take responsibility.
That's not. I don't do it.
I know,
don't live by that.
you can't.
I don't live
You
by
want to
that.
pretend like the blacks are victims
No,
of whites.
you want to pretend like blacks started it. Whites have. Yeah.
No, I asked, where did no-snitch culture start? When did it start?
From Sicilians.
So claims you.
The mob. You know
you
it's
can't
true.
you can't even explain how blacks adopted it from the mob.
You can't even. Yes, I can explain.
How did they adopt it from the mob?
Listen, if you remember when Scarface first came out, do you remember when Scarface first came out?
No, I only remember it from high school because the Mexicans liked it.
Okay, well, blacks liked it too. And blacks, they started trying to emulate that lifestyle, that mob lifestyle. And that's where it started, the no-snitch culture. It's the worst thing in the world to be called a rat. That started with that mob, Scarface, Sicilian mob culture. That's
now
where
you
it started.
understand why we didn't like these Italians.
Hey, I understand.
And Sicilians are the least white of the Italians, by the way.
Oh my God! Look at that! Look at that, man! Look at you!
What do you
I'm
mean?
just
Look
telling
at
you
me.
Listen, I'm just telling you where it started, and somehow you want to just keep pushing on blacks and why blacks this and
But
why
when you
blacks
think
that.
of no-snitch culture, be honest.
I'm just saying where it started.
But be honest, when you think of no-snitch culture, do you think of black people?
Right now, yes, to this day.
That's right.
But if you educate yourself on the topic, then you'll find out where it truly started. That's all I'm saying.
That's reasonable that they're a bad influence on each other.
It, man. But just admit to it. It didn't start with blacks, dude. It didn't start with blacks.
But I didn't say that it started with blacks. I said the blacks are doing the no-snitch culture.
Rewind it.
Well, what I may have said it, but I don't care. But the point is not. The point is. Because it's an evil human nature thing.
You don't have to care. You got schooled, my guy.
No, you didn't.
I got to go, Hake. You got schooled, my guy.
All right, run away. What a mess. Terrible. It did start in the 80s, according to far-left Google AI. It gained significant prominence in police attention starting in the 80s. As a response to the era's punitive drug policies and mandatory minimum sentencing. Because remember, the black and Hispanic crime was going out of control in the 80s, and it really started spiking like crazy with the lack of mothers. Because they rejected men, they rejected authority. and they were corrupt. Because there's a big time mama culture among the Italians, criminal and mama culture among the Italians, even though they have that guy who's the boss of them. But it's all about mama, eating and identifying with their culture. Nothing more effeminate than identifying with your culture. It's a woman thing, to be identified with your culture. I think about my the reason that I know that I'm Scottish and Danish. My grandma's Scottish and my other grandma's Danish. My grandpas don't really know, don't really care. Men don't care about that stuff. Blacks, woman-oriented, mama-oriented. Mama runs the home. They'll defend mama like crazy. A mess. Interesting. Okay, so let me peruse where I left off, okay? No-snitch Italians and black and Hispanic. In other words, the three most criminal groups in the country. I would include the Irish, but they became cops, so they're like criminal cops, I heard. I'm kidding around. But anyway, he blames Cicilians and that one movie that I still have not seen. I'm blanking on the name of it already. Say hello to my little friend. Say hello to my little friend. Scarface. 80s. All right. Where did I leave off with regard to these coffees? I know I covered Cesar. Okay. Cesar. And before that, it was Greggatron, right? I want to say that it was Greggatron. Yeah, Greggatron. And before that, it was Mike from Canada. Good advice, Mike. But you'll notice that everybody's still talking about Ronnie. It's kind of like talking about Alan. Not Alan from Michigan, but Alan from I forget where. On the American Anchor Baby. If you check out my Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/The Hake Report, Zenny said, shout out. Ricky Spanish said, shout out to Zenny for demolishing Alan's, ALAN, virtue signaling, brown nose and rhetoric. Wake up, white people. Don't say brown nosing necessarily, kids. Kissing up, kissing up. Okay, so before I get back to your calls, everybody. Oh, let me double check over here. See where we left off here. 2. That's funny. Oh, Lord. Everblazer says, John is right. You got to give him that. Omerta, the code of silence. Omerta, the code of silence. But what was wrong with the blacks that they adopted it and took it wholeheartedly? How come they didn't adopt snitch culture of the normal whites? Because it's not cool. They didn't cast... Who made that Scarface movie? Was it Italians or was it Jewish people or was it Christians? I don't submit to overuse of suffix, says Lin Yan Chin, though mouth breathers say athletic ability. I say athlete ability, as phrasing renders explicit via implicit. Interested? Right on. And Craig D says, caller, tell your doctor the meds aren't working. To which caller is that one? That's funny. You'll notice the black Hebrew Israelites will blame the whites. They'll pretend to take responsibility. They'll be like, oh, we're under a curse because we became sinful. But they hate and blame the whites for being so evil, and they don't admit that they're evil because they can't look at themselves. and then they're all identified with being either black or black Hebrew Israelite or whatever. Blame, blame, blame. They were, I submit that they would not have adopted and embraced the Scarface and Italian criminal gangster thing. That's when they started calling them gangsters, because gangsters used to mean Italians, right? Gangsters became gangstas. I think that the blacks did adopt the worst of the whites, but they would not have done that had they had their fathers. But John wants to chalk that up to blaming women because he hates men. Just like, no different from that man hater who quit calling my show for the time being, at least. I don't know. Mark from Los Angeles. You hate women. What kind of a grown man says you hate women? How embarrassing. So thank you for your super chats there. Supers YouTube. Thanks, Cesar, LYC. And who needed the meds, Craig D? Craig. All right. I promised I was going to take a break, but what I wanted to do was like very cleanly wash my hands, but my pinch and zoom seems to be working. And so before I get to popcorn, let me get to David in Texas, who's on the line here. David, thank you for calling, sir. What's up?
Hake, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Thank you for taking the call.
Yes, of course.
So, in keeping with yesterday's theme a little bit, I have a little ditty.
All right.
Cooling on a corner on a hot summer's day. Just me and my posse and MCA. A lot of beers, a lot of girls, and a lot of cursing. 22 automatic on my person. All right, that's it.
Nice. Oh, Lord.
There's more, but I'm not going to give it all to you.
Okay.
I saw.
And that's
I saw a podcast.
That is it for the boomers. Well, the boomers probably know. For the ignorant people and sheltered people, that was a reference to Eazy-E's, but it was different. Eazy-E's song. No, not Eazy-E.
No.
I thought it was
Eazy-E's
Eazy-E's
Beastie
song.
Boys, sir.
I think, but with the changed
Caucasian,
lyrics.
the Caucasian rappers, the Beastie Boys.
Oh. Come talking in her bleep, we'll pull your car. I knocked his old A out.
Yeah. I like that one.
Nice. So that's Beastie. Okay, well, it's the same era. Jewish rappers.
It is the same era.
Yeah.
Yes.
But was that was that the actual lyrics, or was that?
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay. I thought you changed the
lyrics.
lyrics. That's funny. Okay. Nice.
No.
Right on.
That's even better. So I was watching a podcast a couple of days ago, and there was a Chinese woman on there, and she was dispelling the population of China.
What does that mean? Dispelling?
Saying that she was saying it's not like 1.4 billion people. It's more like 800 million people. And the reason that she said that was because it was like 800 million people 50 years ago. And in order for them to have grown their population, almost twice, they would have to be having like 5 kids a woman.
And they've only been having 1 or 2 lately.
1. Yeah.
They changed
Isn't that
it
crazy,
to 2
though?
fairly.
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it makes.
But how did they get the
Uyghurs?
Uyghurs? How'd they get the Uyghurs? The Uyghurs, Muslims.
Whoa. Man, you have really gotten loose in your vocabulary. I've noticed that you've said the R word a lot more fluently in the last few months. So
Which one?
I'm kind of taken aback.
How did China get the Uyghur.
That's the Uyghurs.
Uyghurs.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
China didn't
I
get
don't
the
know.
Uyghurs.
And I haven't delved into it. I just caught it on this podcast, and this woman, was seemed pretty fluent in the numbers, and I just thought it was interesting. And it makes sense. It's kind of like in nature. You've got certain animals and birds and stuff like that will make themselves bigger to intimidate the predator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you inflate your numbers, it's going to be, a deterrent for people that want to take you over.
Huh. Yeah. Interesting.
I don't know.
So the Chinese population is overestimated, alleges this.
That's what I gathered from this young lady that was speaking on this podcast. Yeah.
I mean, a population size is a factor. Yes, there's strong academic argument, particularly from demographer Yi Fuxian, that China's official population figure has been historically overestimated, suggesting population began shrinking earlier and is smaller than officially reported due to data manipulation, local incentives for inflated counts. So more heads, more money. Yeah.
Right.
America has that problem too.
Right.
That's why the schools, they want illegals here, because the illegals have kids.
Sure.
And those kids mean you get dollars. More bigger head
the
count.
Educational industrial complex.
Yeah, what a scam. Okay, crazy.
It is a scam.
Lasting effects of the one-child policy. They recently changed in the last 25 or 30 years to two-child policy, right? Or 20, 25, 30 years. Anyway, India surpassed China as the world's most populous nation. I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. There was something else too, but I can't remember what it is now, so I will I'll forego. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Hope you have a wonderful afternoon when you get to it.
If I get to it, I appreciate it.
Oh, you'll get to it.
Thank you for speaking in faith.
Absolutely.
Take care, David.
Thank you, man.
All right.
You too, buddy.
Bye. Let me send to you all the American Anchor Baby links. Anchor Baby / announcements, all right? Because there is a women's forum, ladies. Women's forum. Third Thursday of the month. This is the third Thursday here. Let me pin the Anchor Baby info there. I'll pin this chat message, right? You can unpin it, y'all. You guys seem to do that anyway. And I'll link the Rumble there. And actually, he's also on nice, whatever. Sweet. I'm already first, okay? So don't even try it. Who made Scarface? Brian De Palma, written by Oliver Stone, starring Al Pacino. Producer Martin Bregman. Oliver Stone. Yeah, I don't know. It's not important. You blame the people for adopting and being influenceable. Popcorn gave a couple of coffees here, all right? Popcorn states, in the wake of the recent death of Scott Adams, a spotlight has again been placed on the comments he made back in 2023 during a YouTube live stream. They're talking about the liberal, nasty people, evil people. Shine a light on his comments, which were fair-minded comments. There is a minute-long snippet in which he says white people should get the HE double toothpicks away from black people. And it instantly became a meme, got clipped, and became a right on moment for a lot of people who really feel that way. The problem is, Scott Adams actually put a clown suit on those people and caused them to take their masks off, in that he actually clarified why he said that, which rarely, if ever, gets quoted. And during an interview with Chris Cuomo, he provided some context for his statement. I won't delve into it too much, but when asked by Chris Cuomo, was he on CNN still at that point, or was he gone from CNN? I forget. Was that News Nation? What do you say to people who actually feel that way and latched on to what you said and go, Scott is one of us? He disavowed those people. He went on to say he supports HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, affirmative action, and Black History Month, for what it's worth. If you take Scott at his word, meaning you believe what he says, that he isn't literally telling white people to get away from black people, you do a disservice to his memory by clipping that one part and going, thank you, Scott, or holding him up as some kind of hero for saying that, especially when he clarified his comments. Yeah, from what I understand, he wasn't aware that it was white supremacists who say it's okay to be white. Because so-called white supremacists are we younger people than the boomers like Scott Adams was. He was a boomer. He's no longer, right? We've very clearly seen, and I'm sure Scott saw it too, as does Trump, I imagine, right? Because he's like, oh, you're racist. That's all they ever say. Lord. How these black people act. So ridiculous. And liberal media too. Not Christians, typically. But we see the attack on white people, and they're like, it's okay to be white. It's okay to be white. Because they act like, oh, white people are racist, when they're the least racist. And so that response is why they said it's okay to be white. And then a poll said that most black people didn't like that phrase. And some of the black people were probably aware because they watch Commie Nonsense Network and MSLSD MSDNC. I think it's called MS Now or something like that. I don't know. I forget what they're called now. They changed their name. And so blacks, because they have this boogeyman of racism, they think, oh, it's not okay to say that. When in reality, blacks are, even Earl, my second favorite caller, who hated white people because he believed in the racism thing. He would call me a little Hitler. Hey, little Hitler. And I'd be like, hey, baby Farrakhan, baby Hitler. He's even quoted in my show as saying, it's okay to be white. It's okay to be black. Earl, you know? Oh, that one. And so Scott said, get away from them. That's a hate group. It's a hate group. But he was an honest man. Right on, and he always was. He did tend to be a bit liberal, kind of like Trump. Center, I would call him like centrist, center left. Kind of far left in some ways, but really a real American. Scott Adams. Nice. Misquote? All right. So back to popcorn, another popcorn thing. Continuing with the Scott Adams theme. I'm not sure if you saw this, but his final message to his followers is pinned on his X account. And I find the first part of it very interesting and wanted to get your take. He openly says he is not a believer in Jesus Christ, but he kind of takes a I'll hedge my bets approach and types out a statement saying he accepts Jesus as his Lord and Savior and says if he wakes up in heaven, there will be no doubt about his belief. Indeed. And he shares the Scott Adams says pinned tweet that his ex-wife or whoever, I don't know, pinned final message from Scott Adams, posted about an hour after he died, because he died before his 7 a.m. stream, 7 a.m. Pacific time stream. According to her, it was just before the stream that he died. And I don't know if that's exactly correct or what, but they posted that. If you're reading this, things did not go well for me. And he wrote this in January 1st. He wrote it in advance. So anyway, let me go back to Popcorn. You're a little homegrown Christian, as Jesse puts it. The scripture does say that if you believe in your heart and confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord and that God raised him from the dead, you shall be saved. Scott made it clear that he is not a believer, but he went through the motion of typing it out just in case, while, as I said, making it plain that he's not on board with the believe in your heart portion. Do you view this as a mockery? I don't necessarily, says Popcorn. Based on your understanding of the Bible, does this save Scott Adams' soul? I found it interesting and wanted you to weigh in. To me, he made it clear he doesn't believe, so I don't think this letter, at least that part, didn't really do much for him, says Popcorn. It's interesting, Popcorn. I don't know if you catch Church with Jesse Lee, but JLP was counter-signaling that whole thing about if you confess with your mouth, Jesus is Lord, and believe in your heart, and he interpreted that, at least in the way that how other people interpret that, is they try to make themselves believe that he raised him from the dead and all that stuff, right? And that doesn't work for anybody. When in reality, what Jesus said about being born again, you must, or entering the kingdom or having eternal life, obey his commandments. And I think that Scott, I don't know. I think that Scott, maybe he was obeying the commandments. There's a thing in, they have the law in their heart Bible. Let's see. They show that the work of the law, here's Bible Hub, I don't know. Okay, so let's see what this says. They show, let me not read the NIV because you guys are haters of the NIV. Which shew the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts mean accusing. No, this is not the one. They never heard it. Let's see. Heard, but follow the law in their hearts. Something like that. Never heard, not heart. There we go. Without Romans, oh, maybe it was that. Romans 2, something or other. Oh, the Message. Please, don't give me that. King James Version. The hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall, not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified. For when the Gentiles, of which Scott was one, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law, are a law unto themselves, which show the work of the law written in their hearts. Their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts the mean, this was it, while accusing or else excusing one another in the day God shall judge the secrets of men by Jesus Christ according to my gospel. He's Scott Adams, Popcorn, I can't say, right? I have no idea. I don't know. But he seemed like a man of peace and a man of conscience. And he didn't agree, at about age 11, he didn't agree about the Jonah and the whale. So, nice. So maybe not, Popcorn, but it's, that's between, as Scott Adams rightly said, that's between him and Jesus. Him and Jesus. Nice. Thank you, Popcorn. I did cover that thing that Scott Adams said. A very admirable man. Eric with 5 coffees. Pride is the most destructive sin because it's all about self. A self that doesn't even exist. That doesn't exist. You can attribute qualities of America to those who came before you, but the moment you take pride in any of it, you've gone unconscious. Pride is of the devil. Indeed. I agree with this statement. And it sort of reminds me of the pride that we were I was battling with John from Kentucky. Kentucky John. He has pride in his being a black Hebrew Israelite, so-called, right? He doesn't say black, but that's what it is, right? And the mothers and women who I say are all about self and their family, their heritage, their race, their ethnicity and all that stuff, and how these woman-oriented cultures like the Hispanics and the blacks tend to be all the most, and also the Italians and even the Irish, tend to be all into their Mexicanity or their blackness or their Irishness or their Italianity. And even the Americans, if they get all puffed up in that pride, in that false pride, that's when you've lost yourself. You're lost. You're all wrapped up into yourself and lost. Terrible. Thank you, Eric. So let me catch up on these notes a bit here. Popcorn, Scott Adams saved. Eric, pride, the sin. Eric, 5 coffees. No-snitch culture is propagated by rap music, which equals black culture, where the disease emoji, originated is beside the point. What's spreading the disease is what must be eliminated. I still think I'm right. I still am sure that I'm right. Because women hate men. Women hate authority. Challenge the authority of the man and challenge the men and all that stuff. And then children of women without their fathers, who hate their fathers, who hate men. Also hate men, hate authority. That's blacks. That's Hispanics. That's the mama spirit. That's evil. Totally, they've embraced the worst parts of everything, and then we end up embracing their culture. What a mess. Thank you that for another point on rap culture. So evil. Anthony in SoCal is on the line over here. Anthony, thank you for calling, sir. What's up?
Thanks for taking my call. Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Sweet. Sorry, I'm a bit congested. I got a cold, but I was looking into you know how you have this, I don't want to say obsession, but you're interested in the etymology of certain words.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I think, your spelling, we go back and forth. You like spelling Koran, Koran.
Right.
And in my chats, I do it the more liberal way, as you'd say, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But
so,
yeah, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
No, but I want to be fair with you, and I was reading John Adams and Thomas Jefferson's letter to Congress from 1786, and because of their interactions with the Barbaries, and are you familiar with that one of our first wars, international, so to speak, wars?
They talk about the Barbary pirates? Was that the Tripoli thing?
Yeah, exactly. You got it. You're familiar.
I just know buzzwords. I don't know what really went down.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, it was around 1785, and the letter I'm referencing, Adams and Jefferson wrote to Congress in 86, but basically the Muslim pirates from North Africa, which, they're known as Barbaries, they captured 2 American ships. It was the Maria and the Dauphin, and they enslaved their crews. And they basically held them for ransom. And obviously, like England and France were involved with this. But basically, I thought it was interesting. Adams and Jefferson wrote a letter to Congress. Do you mind if I read a quick snippet of it? Just
Sure.
to give you a little background of this.
Yeah.
So they said, "We took the liberty to make some inquiries concerning the grounds of the Barbary pretensions to make war upon nations who had done them no injury, and observed that we considered all mankind as our friends who had done us no wrong, nor had given us any provocation. The ambassador," which is the ambassador of the Barbaries, "answered us that it was founded on on the laws of their prophet, that it was written in their Koran," and they spelled it Koran,
Yep.
"that all nations should not have acknowledged their authority were sinners, that it was their right and duty to make war upon them wherever they could be found, and to make slaves of all they could take as prisoners, and that every Musselman," Muslim, and it's funny they spelled it Musselman,
Whoa.
should be slain in battle, was sure to go to paradise. So this is essentially America's first encounter with Islamic Jihad. And I thought it was interesting because Jefferson and Adams, besides their spelling of Muslim and Quran, which, vindicates you,
Yeah.
for the record, they state that they had done the Barbaries no injury, and that they considered all mankind as friends unless they had done them wrong,
Yeah.
But what's interesting with that is the prisoners of those American ships were held as captives for ransom, and essentially between 1530 and 1780, the Muslims were raiding Britain, Ireland, Denmark, Iceland, essentially all of coastal Europe, and they took as many as 250,000 European Christians and enslaved them on the Barbary coast. So the treatment of European slaves also is noted in the letter to Congress, that the Christians were deemed as infidels. So also, quote, "In almost every case, the European slaves were hated on account of their religion." So I thought it was just interesting how, I know you had a caller, you're talking about the idea of the Constitution, and you say it's just a piece of paper. And when you look at the attitude of the founding fathers towards, this specific religion and what they've done to America at its early period of time, now you see the government treating this religion in the complete opposite way. And it's not that they explicitly say in the Constitution, they have these attitudes towards Muslims, but the people themselves, regardless of the Constitution, are treating them or having a certain respect towards them that the founding fathers didn't have. They did respect them, obviously, until, the Barbaries invaded them. But my point was, it is, in a sense, just a piece of paper because the people really are just running the show.
Right.
And the Constitution has it doesn't communicate the experiences that our founding fathers had towards certain groups, that now today we just show them all respect and honor, and make them in charge of our cities. So I thought it was interesting, especially when you look at the treatment of those European slaves. A lot of accounts saying that if they blasphemed Muhammad, they would be impaled alive, or they would be burned, or thrown off the city walls, or even caught upon large, sharp hooks, and they would hang there till they expired.
Wow.
That's a quote. So yeah, I mean, it's. I say this only to counter this narrative in the mainstream media that seems to be that all the chaos in the Middle East is a cause of Western imperialism. You know, it's like people often say, I hear this in the news a lot. I don't know if you hear it as well. Do you hear people say that the Middle East would be peaceful if it weren't for Western colonial powers? Do you ever hear that? Or we bomb them so much, no wonder they're in chaos?
Yeah, I've
Have you
heard
ever
stuff
heard
like
that?
that. Or if Israel didn't exist, or things along those lines. But no, there's something
Yeah,
going on with those people they like to fight and war amongst themselves and other people and conquer and conquest.
exactly. And even our founding fathers were wise enough. They had the discernment to understand that this was due, as I referenced in that letter to Congress, it was due to how they viewed the Koran, or they were just following the Koran and the laws of their prophet, and so nothing really changes. It's still the same story, except in today's age, people don't have the discernment to realize what the cause is. They just throw out Islamophobia and all this mess. Last thing I'll say, though, George Washington, he had an interesting quote. He said, in such an enlightened and such a liberal age, how is it possible that the great maritime powers of Europe should submit to pay an annual tribute to the little piratical states of Barbary? And then he said, would to heaven we had a navy able to reform those enemies to mankind or crush them into non-existence. So I think it's amazing how would to heaven, I've never heard that term before, but it seems like synonymous to by God or something like that.
Yeah.
So Washington was saying, are you familiar with that? Would to heaven?
No, that's the first I've remember hearing it as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Same here, but so Washington basically saying he wishes that we had a navy able to reform those enemies to mankind or crush them into non-existence. And today, America has grown into such a superpower that we have those tools. We have those abilities. Now, I'm not trying to be provocative or abrasive by saying this. I'm just, commenting on the words of our first president.
Trump is the answer. Trump is an answer to, and Trump and our military are perhaps an answer to George Washington's prayer. Maybe not, but interesting. Cool. Thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah, of course, Hake. Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, last thing I want to say is, and I want to get your take on this. It's kind of bizarre when you see what goes on in what was happening in Palestine. You have Free Palestine chants going on years recently, and you actually have, and obviously, it's a whole different story than what's going on in Iran. But in Iran, you have a Islamic State terrorizing its population. And do you notice how the Western media is totally opposed to any intervention? Do you notice that?
I'm not sure. I haven't really noticed it this time, but I'm a little distracted.
Okay.
I have to start wrapping up. But that's an interesting.
Okay, no worries, Hake.
Thank you, man.
I went on it. Yeah, my pleasure, man. You guys have a great day, and thanks for taking my call.
You as well, Anthony. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
And I wish that I could get to William 7 out of California, but I cannot. I got to get out of here. And the rest of the callers and super chatters, peace in the Middle East, or at least in your hearts. American Anchor Baby up next. Check out Punchy TV from yesterday. Women's Forum tonight, ladies. Make sure you join. And catch before the Women's Forum, I'm going to be on Caledonian Elixir. Take care, guys. Adios, America. Bye.